My name is Chrissy and welcome to my channel. After doing a couple of videos already, I decided to do a BookTube Newbie Tag video. Um, so let's get started. So the first question, so the first question is, why did you start this channel? And I started this channel for a couple of reasons. One, I need friends. And I started this channel because I really wanted to have connections with people who love to read as much as I do. And also to hopefully just be able to spread some of the love and appreciation that I have for certain authors and certain titles that I don't really see as getting as much love. So that's why. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I was gonna say humor, but I think that's got locked down by a couple of different other channels, like um, Jesse from Bow Ties and Books and Read with Cindy. I think they got that locked down. I do have a couple of series ideas in mind that I'm hoping to get off the ground. A couple of deep dives into some really large page tomes and going into what happens in them, why certain things happen, and that sounds so much more academic than what's actually planned in my head. But there you go, there you go. Question number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? The prospect of meeting people, really. Also, the chance to get introduced to new things. I mean, I while I'm a pretty eclectic reader, I've pretty much stayed in certain genres for a really long time, and I've been trying to break out of that into different genres and different even subgenres of genres, if that makes sense. But just expanding my horizons in that way, and I thought this was a fairly good way to do that. Question number 4, why do you love reading? That's a little bit asking why I like to breathe. uh, that kind of puts me in a little bit of an existential crisis. I don't really know why I love to read. I just love to read. Probably because it's a little bit of an escape from reality. Probably because you get to imagine the scenes in your head. Like you're allowed to have your own interpretation of what the text is as you're reading it. And that's kind of nice because sometimes, things in my head are a lot more epic than being able to put them on like film and stuff like that. Not saying, God, that sounded like an insult to directors. You're not doing it the way I want you to. Not an insult to any filmmakers who adapt books, by the way, but it just feels like I'm able to have movies in my head and all that kind of good stuff. And they're easy to go back into pages and scenes that you really love. And I know movies are too, but I feel like with books I don't know, they don't get on my nerves as much as if they're put on a repeat. Like if I repeat the pages rather than if I just like rewind a scene. Question number 5, what books or series got you into reading? And you know, probably the Berenstein Bears. My mom liked to read. Actually, she didn't like to read to me as much as a kid because I kept demanding that she read more and more and more. But she read to me ever since I was really little, and once I was able to read on my own, Berenstein Bears was probably really big in 5-year-old Christina's life. But as far as series that's kind of kept up my love, Animorphs introduced me to sci-fi, and I remember when they were coming out, when they're being released, I would be right there with my little Scholastic catalog and my marker that my mom would let me, use to circle the books I wanted, and then I would like circle all of them, and she'd be like, "Go back, tell me the top whatever amount to get, and we'll get that instead of the whole catalog." So Animorphs was really big in that. Tamara, Tamara Pierce's Lioness Quartet series with Alana, that was really big into me reading fantasy. Then there was There's a whole lot of books. Like I remember reading this book, Adam of the Road, and it was one of the first books that I just kept rereading and rereading. And it was just all it was about this boy and his cocker spaniel, like going off on adventures. Where was his dad? Well, everywhere, all at once, because he was a minstrel. I don't know, but so yeah, those are the books I really liked reading as a kid, as a younger person. All right, question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? So I have three top booktubers that I watch constantly: Bowties and Books, Read with Cindy, and Noria Reads. So if I were to ask them a question, I feel like so many people who have done the BookTube Newbie Tag have asked amazingly awesome questions, like some people asking like how do you find yourself editing all these other things. Really, my question is, what's your favorite dessert? I gotta know. It's important to me. Okay, question 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So my my knee jerk answer to this was my budget. But I I have a lot of unread books in my TBR that I own, so I don't think that will necessarily be the problem. I think me buying books is really just a me problem. I know other people have have similar woes as far as their bank account goes, but really, if I were to give an honest answer, it'd be how I view myself. I I don't like necessarily the way I look, so sometimes it's hard, especially when I'm getting angles, because I'm like, no angle is good. Um, so sometimes that can be rough when setting up the camera and even the lighting, because I'm like, this light doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. But overall, that playing back when I'm doing editing and thinking I should just shoot this again and wear a mask, or um, like I've been playing around with the idea of putting on makeup. Like it's like a modeling agency got set upon BookTube and just released all their models to be booktubers. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm watching BookTube, because everyone's so like good looking. How? I don't even know. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest obstacle. Is I look at that and then my own self conscious stuff goes like, you look kind of like a troll lady. Like, get it together. But I've gotten over that because I started my BookTube channel despite it, uh, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Question 8. When did you start reading? As said before, my mom read to me when I was little, and then I just kept that up throughout my life. So I started reading on my own around 5 or 6 ish, and then I was like, I think my mom still has awards from the library for best little reader for when I was that young. But yeah, I've read since then. 9. Where do you read? Anywhere I can. I keep a book with me everywhere I go, like the Libby app, and ebooks in general have been a little bit of a savior for having books on my phone, and more in the recent time. Like I didn't really do ebooks for the longest time, not because I didn't, um, not because I don't think that they're not real books or anything, but admittedly I do like physical books a little bit more. I like that feeling between my fingers of flipping over the pages. And also, like, it kind of saddened me that a lot of the books in ebook format weren't really cheaper than physical books. And that, I think, was my biggest problem, was from like books from editors sometimes just are not cheaper on ebooks. And I have been seeing sales and everything for books that I've gotten that are a lot cheaper on ebook. But case it all said all, I've been using ebooks now a lot more lately than in the past. So now it's anywhere. The main places that I read before bed, so my bed is probably my biggest place to read, and also my couch, because when I get home, I'll just curl up on the couch with my heated blanket now in the wintertime and just read from there. 10. What kind of books do you like to read? So the books I like to read the most are fantasy and sci-fi, but as said before, I'm a pretty eclectic and variety person of reading. That made no sense whatsoever. But I like a lot of different kind of genres and everything. I've been trying to get more into thriller and horror because I didn't read a lot of it in the past, and I've been reading a lot of like horror fantasy. Well, not a lot of horror fantasy. Really, it's been Into the Drowning Deep. Let's get honest here. But it was such a great introduction to that genre that I think I'm going to read more of it. So, yeah, that's what Alright, so that's the BookTube Newbie Tag. If you like this channel, please give that thumbs up button. If you like to see this face that's not like a model, just kidding. But if you like to see this face, you can click that subscribe button. And thank you very much. May you get lost in a book.